Welcome to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because misery loves company.
Hello, Emily.
Hello, John. If anybody catches the word that I omitted from our intro, shoot me a note with that word. I'll send you stickers. Because I skipped a word and I was like, I wonder if anyone will notice I skipped a word.
I know I didn't notice. Well, you know what happens is when you're talking, I'm waiting for you to get to the end so I can push the music up. So I'm laser focused on pushing up that music.
We're both podcast editors, so we're a lot of the times not listening fully to the content. We're listening for the words that we know we have to take out. So
yeah, I'm ahead of. Usually, I'm a minute ahead looking for ums and stuff like because you can see an
Yeah,
you can actually see one coming. There's one. Get it.
When I catch one before it actually happens, then I go back just to make sure, and then I'll hear it, and I'm like, yeah.
It's like we're hunters.
Oh yeah.
So. How was we've seen a lot of each other this week.
Yeah, we have.
We were actually in the same space Saturday.
Mm-hmm. We split a quesadilla.
We did.
Really good quesadilla, too.
It was.
Taco Bell
yeah,
quesadilla.
I ate off her plate. After last week, she said she hates when people eat off her plate.
Well, here was the thing. I offered it to you.
You did.
That's different. It's one thing if somebody is just... oh, their hand is halfway across the table as they're asking, can I just try this? And it's, no, why would you do that? No. But when I'm like, okay, I'm full. Would anybody like this? And luckily you hadn't ordered yet. So it was nice to be able to give it to you because I have a thing about wasting food. I know that's part of my food issue is I was not allowed to waste food as a kid. I was allowed to throw out junk food. I could waste that, but no, something
Not
actually
dinner.
Healthy and fulfilling.
Yeah.
Couldn't waste it.
So we split the quesadilla. Then we went back to our friend Jessica's house, and we hung out there. And then I raced home because I was supposed to be on a podcast. I got stopped by the cops doing 90 and a 65.
Oh, my goodness.
I talked myself out of the ticket.
Did you tell him you were going on a podcast?
No, I lied.
Did you tell him to listen?
I told him that I had to pee real bad and I was trying to get to the next exit.
Oh, that's really smart. Did you tell him about Hate to Wait? Is he a listener? Hello, Tom.
No, I did not. He did let me off with a warning, which was good.
That's
and
good.
then we did our Tuesday night thing that we always do about podcasting over on GetVokl.
Yeah.
And then here we are again this week.
And I'm seeing you again tomorrow for another recording we're doing for She Podcasts.
Yes. So it's an Emily week.
That's good. Is it help maybe keeping you on track?
No, well, yes.
Okay.
I've actually been on track all week.
Yeah.
As far as calorie wise. So it was funny. If we're going to talk about our weeks, this week I went into the Hate to Wait group and it says, Deborah has mentioned you in a post. And I was like, wonder what Deborah has to say. So here it is. John, I just finished listening to this week's podcast and have to ask yourself to stop beating our friend John up. You've got some pretty mean things to say about him, and we like him a whole lot, and it's not nice. That said, I think you need to refocus on where you're at on your journey. At this point, I would make it less about the scale and the fact that you are taking a huge-ass step to move forward to the surgery. Sure, you've had a Last Supper, but you've had part of your weight loss surgery journey better than having it because it was Tuesday and you give no fucks. And you've learned about yourself. You now know that scarcity mindset triggers behavior that you don't like and the result of it. Now that you know that, you can figure out what you might do differently next time. My diet career is like yours. If it was an independent person, it could drive, vote, drink, have a mortgage, student loans. It's got a life of its own, really. And it's old. We move forward, find success, not beating yourself up over what we did yesterday by taking the next small action. That moves us to where we want to go for you. It may have been having that Last Supper and resulting gains so you can go forward with weight loss surgery. With love, a semi-regular listener, and please stop beating up my friend, which I responded to jokingly. You don't live with him.
But that is so sweet of Deborah. Thank you
Yeah, it
so
was
much
very
for
nice.
posting that in the group. That was a heartfelt letter, John. That took time to write, and that's so sweet. Our group is amazing. Do you know Deborah in real life?
No.
She's a listener, and she loves you.
No, I get that, and I understand.
Oh.
But so what I do when we come on here is I give you my real thoughts, my real emotions, my real feelings. And I know I was beating myself up. And like I said, it was a rough week. But, what you said is really true. Our diet careers are alike. And if I go back, my diet person, if it was a person, would be able to vote, would be able to have a mortgage, would be able to hold down a job, would be starting a family. That being said, we get on ourselves because in our minds and in our heart of hearts, we know we could have done better. And the fact that we're not doing better, it's the same old song. And if we don't sometimes hold ourselves to task, who will? After that, though, you focus, you buckle down, and you do what you can to get back on this again. Because if I don't lose the weight, I can't get the surgery. So this is so now, and I need to get the surgery, and I want to get the surgery yesterday. Now that I've made up my mind, I'm like, cut this thing out. But that's not how it works. So that has been my week. I really read that a few times. You can't tell that by the fact how I butchered it when I read it out loud. But I did read that a few times, and it really did have an effect on me and an impact on me where I know I have to ease up on myself. And I do in real life. But when I come here, I got to give you the raw emotions of what I'm feeling. Because other people are probably going through the same thing. And instead of, sometimes I have to get mad at myself to motivate myself. If I give myself too much of a pass, then I seem to play. This is really weird because I'm talking to myself as two different people. Sometimes if I give myself a pass and I'm too easy on myself, that self takes advantage of my kindness, and I can't do that.
I think the fact that we come here every week and we talk about the reasons why and we dig into it, it's the total opposite of how I used to approach dieting, where if I messed up, I would try to hide it as if it didn't happen. Because if I didn't admit what happened, I thought maybe in my head it didn't happen and those calories don't count. But that's not how it is. And I've started learning that the more I'm leaning into these feelings of discomfort and actually going through them in my head and processing them either out loud or writing them down, the more I'm getting through them and the more I'm able to put them aside so that they're not taking hold on the rest of my life. And I'm thinking about things that shouldn't be holding me back anymore. Like people who left my life and they may never come back in and I'm still holding space for them and I don't need that sort of thing. So I think that's the same with dieting, where we're going through these issues and we're talking about them every week. And there are a lot of times where you and I are both like, I never thought about this before until we're live doing the podcast, and how much that affects us.
There's another thing that kind of came up this week, and we were talking about it before we started recording, so I'm going to go back over it again. A cousin found a picture of me when I was 25, and he sent it to me. And I looked at that picture, and I was like, damn, you sexy beast, right? I was like, holy cow. Now, at that time in my life, I thought I was fat, and I thought that I was undateable. And I'm thinking to myself, if I could put this John in that body right now, it'd be like, oh, behave. And the thing is, sometimes it's not the weight. We use our weight. Now, I said to my cousin, damn, I wasn't fat back then. And what he said to me was, well, you were a little doughy. I was doughy. I wasn't, I didn't have like a rock abs and, a buff chest. I was kind of a doughy, but I wasn't really fat. And that being said, sometimes I think that people try to say, I got to lose another 20 pounds, so I'll look this way. And I don't care how much weight they lose. That's not what's holding them back of being social. That's not what's holding them back from dating. That's not what's holding them back. There's something else inside of them that either they feel like they're not worthy or they don't attract the right people or whatever that is, but it's not the weight loss.
Right.
For me right now, why I'm doing this is just to get mobile and get my life back. That's the issue. Because even all that minimal walking that I did on Saturday, it took me till Tuesday or Wednesday to recover, where I didn't feel like someone, caned me in the knee. Mm-hmm. So It's stuff like that. How was your week?
My week, I've only been able to think about the past 2 days because, as I told you before the show, I lost my morning pages notebook for 2 days. So I just have all these thoughts just rumbling around in my head. So if I'm extra ADHD today, that's why. My husband just found it about 10 minutes before we recorded. And I was ready to just start scribbling for 10 minutes just to get stuff out. And it wasn't a big deal as far as my to-do list because I have the really important stuff on my Google Calendar. So I have that on my phone. But the important thing was just getting out thoughts and being able to have that daily time with myself to sort of think things through and think things out. And the other thing is, it's Shark Week.
Oh.
Yep, play the music. Shark Week, that 1 week a month where women are especially hormonal. And PMS is honestly worse for me than Shark Week. Once Shark Week hits, it's like, oh, okay.
It's the week before.
Yeah, it's the week before that I'm pretty bad. It's kind of like, I don't know if you get this. I get headaches before it rains.
Nah.
And then once it rains and it pours, the headache just goes away. And that's kind of how it is for my PMS too. I'll have PMS and it's awful. And then as soon as it happens, I'm fine.
Well, I found something else out that fascinates. Every time I talk to you, I find out a fascinating Emily fact. And this was actually on Tuesday night when we were talking. Emily sees names in color.
Yeah. I have synesthesia. So I see names and words in different colors in my head. So if somebody says a word, it automatically, I see that word written out in my head and it's a certain color. It's something that you don't know you have it until you find out that other people don't. And you're like, wait, what do you mean your Wednesdays aren't yellow? And it's like you get angry at people like, what?
And I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean Wednesdays are yellow? Like we were sitting there and I said, what's my name? And she said red. And then she said that Mark's name was red. And I was like, well, okay.
Different shades.
Okay, different shades, but we're red. And then she said, but it's not the same because another person that's Mark is not red.
Yeah.
He's a different color.
And I think it depends on their last name. It depends on how I know them. I don't know what actually makes the connections. So with synesthesia, it's not just the word color association. People have different associations. So they might hear a word and get a taste in their mouth, which I would hate that. I would absolutely hate having that guy. Although that would be an interesting diet of just, okay, just repeat these words over and over again because it tastes like lemon meringue pie. But.
Oh, now you're talking.
Right? I know. That's the sort of synesthesia that would be
Although
fun.
when you just said something, like when you just said that to me, it was like when you said when you say a word, you get a feeling. So if I'm thinking about a food, I get a feeling. Like in other words, like if I think of chili, I get like I get a feeling. No, it's like in my head, it's almost like pins and needles. It's really weird. Yeah. Like when you eat a hot pepper, you get that pins and needles. I get a pins and needles feeling in my head when I eat something that's really, really spicy hot. But then if I think of tapioca pudding, it's all warm, blankety, creamy comfort.
Yeah. I think those associations are really interesting. And scientists are still looking into synesthesia. They don't know why it happens with certain people. The farthest they've gotten with the research on it is that it can be genetic. And both of my kids have displayed signs of it that I remember having as a kid. I remember telling my aunt, like she had my cousin, and I remember telling her, oh, my cousin's name Kyle, that's mint green. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you need to buy her mint green because that is the color of her name. And nobody knew what I was like. This is just kids babble from an 8-year-old. And now when I realized what synesthesia was, I was like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
See, I have foodesthesia.
You have foodesthesia. You know what? That makes sense. Okay. Well, a lot of people have this. When you think of something sour, like when I think of sucking on a lemon or something, my mouth automatically gets that.
Yeah, well, my mouth starts to water. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Because I don't like it. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. It's really interesting, the associations that our brain makes.
Okay. So maybe this is your OCD. I don't know that. But so you didn't have your book for 2 days, but it didn't stop you from getting another piece of paper and writing out stuff on another piece of paper and unloading.
It didn't. But here's the thing is I like having things so meticulously organized when it comes to my thoughts. I have Post-it notes, and whatever I write on a Post-it note, it either gets transferred to my Google Calendar or it gets thrown into my notebook. Or if I don't need it, I get to crumple it up and throw it away. And actually, one of my Instagram stories this week was my garbage can next to my desk. It's all colorful Post-it notes. That's all it is.
So what I do is, my thing is steno books. I like steno books because I can flip them.
Yeah.
So then I have it. And then, so now if I have to find something, and I'm so disorganized. So my steno book is my mind, because it's like, here's an address. Here's 3 shows that I have to do. Here's a telephone call I have to make. Here's a phone number I don't know what it's about. Here's a 1280 by 720 pixels, which is the size of the red that's here. And so then if I ever want to go back to that, I'm like, well, how would I know that? Here's something, the page before that, Way of Life, 9 o'clock. I don't even know what that means.
That's always scary.
Yeah.
There are certain things where I will write it in my notebook, especially stuff like hex codes for things. I either write them in my notebook, or now I've been adding them to TextExpander. So the hex codes I use the most often. So for clients, when I have to make them audiograms and I have to use their brand colors, those are in my TextExpander of just hex and then whatever their name is.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never thought to use text. See, it's really weird. It's funny. I never thought to use it for that. So
yeah, we are not sponsored by TextExpander, but if you type the same things over and over and over again on your computer, it is so worth it to get TextExpander. And I'll put a link in the show notes, because they send you an email about how much time you saved every month. And it's so bizarre that I saved something like 40 minutes last month.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to get at is the way our minds work. If I can circle back to weight loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you are so laser focused with this. And I think that's why you're doing so much better on this program, because you can compartmentalize this. All right. And then you have a place for it. Now that you've taken, intermittent fasting and the way you do this and all, and the way you're drinking your water and the way you're getting your exercise and all that, you have this, and you're on a system right now, and you're moving, and you're taking the behaviors that made you gain weight, you're recognizing them, and you're able to, not every time, but most of the time, push that back. That's you. Me,
yeah.
My brain is a steno book of nonsense. And I just go from thing to thing. Like earlier before we got on here in the chat, the chat fired up, and they were in there, and someone went, squirrel. And to me, that's from the movie Up, where the dog's sitting there and goes, hi, my name is whatever, and I'm sitting here, squirrel. And then he goes back, hi, my name is whatever. And that's me. I'm very shiny object, attracted to shiny objects.
Hey, are you literally attracted to shiny objects too? Or just figuratively?
I guess, no, I'm not, I don't like jewelry or anything like that, but I like the latest, the greatest, the newest thing. I like playing with it. When you're a kid, you have toys, and you play with toys to occupy yourself. When you're adults, you have your hobbies. To me, technology is a hobby. If I ever got into weight loss like I got into podcasting or technology, it wouldn't be a big thing. But to me, it's always been on the back burner. And when I say on the back burner, I mean the burner's off, and there's a pot on it that's been sitting there for 6 months, and it's so rusty that it's welded to the burner.
Yeah, but that hasn't been the case while you've been doing this podcast.
No, now it's like I say, oh, there's a pot there, but I really haven't done anything to move the pot, clean the burner, light the stove. I think that's not true. I pried the pot off of the grate because I started the journey towards weight loss surgery, but that's where we are right now. I did get my binge eating under control this week, which was good.
That's really good. How are you able to do that?
Well, the one thing is that I just say, okay, if I'm going to eat, then I'm only going to eat this much. And I say, okay, because I remember last week I said, I'm not going to do fast food anymore.
Yeah, and then I saw 2 Instagram stories where you had Taco Bell cups on your desk. 2, John, different days.
I know. So, right. So what happened was, I had half an hour to get something to eat. If I went up and tried to make something eat, I would have never made it back down here again. And if I didn't eat, then I would be so hungry. So I said, okay, all right, we're going to have to pivot. So I said, so what I was going to do was, all right, I'm going, but I'm only going to get this. And that's it. I'm not going and ordering so much food that by the time I get home, I'm all bloated, burpy, and can't take it. I only ordered one burrito, a soft taco, and a diet soda. and I came back. And I put that in my calories, and I was way under my calorie count.
Good.
So,
Good.
Is there more carbs in there than I wanted to be in there? Yeah. Was it really that big of a deal? No.
Did you have a vegetable? Was there a vegetable involved?
Yeah, there's lettuce and tomato in a taco. Of course there's a vegetable.
Okay.
So
I've been giving my husband a hard time. I'm like, I just want you to eat one vegetable a day. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking you to change your diet. Just get some vitamins because I want you around for our kids. You're eating like he eats terribly, and I finally brought it up to him.
well, does he take a vitamin?
No, he doesn't take a vitamin.
Well, okay. Well, if I was him, I would bring home a big bottle of vitamins and say, here's my vegetables. Watch me swallow it.
I'll take it. I will buy him those vegetable pills that I had last year.
Yeah. I mean, anything. I mean, if you said to me, all right, John, you know what? To be healthy, you got to start eating liver. So here, eat some liver. I need you to eat liver every day. I'm like, this sucks. I'm not eating liver every day. But,
that's true,
but I'll take a liver pill.
Yeah. I wish we could podcast edit our diet sometimes. Where it's like, I didn't have that taco.
That would be amazing.
Don't worry. Later on, when we're counting our calories, you won't even know that taco was there.
Oh, here comes a piece of cheesecake. We're going to get rid of that.
But then we would be like the clients who are like, oh, it's okay. My editor will take it out and post. And it's like, wait, no, I can't take it. Like, wait.
I can't get all the...
You had a cheesecake after your salad. They're all mixed together in there. I can't take that out.
Okay, so if I can relate this to podcasting and podcast editing, my diet would be like trying to edit a stutterer. It would be horrible. I would hate myself. So with that, I think that I had a bad week, and I came on and talked about my bad week. And the group responded, and I really do appreciate that. But I know we've all been there. We all do beat ourselves up. Sometimes you're in the throes of it, and you're trying to get out, and that to me is when I'm in the throes of a binge and I know what I'm doing and I can't stop myself. It angers me and it scares me.
You know what else I was thinking? I wonder if we also beat ourselves up because we think maybe if we feel bad about what we did, it'll take the calories away.
Or it's the
like
shame.
A kid who knows they'll get in trouble unless they apologize.
Well, it's true. Yeah. It doesn't do that though.
No.
It's like the same way when I was a kid, I'd rather get beat than punished because the beating was over in a little bit, but punishment was forever. Oh, my God.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. And you're just, just please be mad.
Are you kidding me? I'll take disappointed. I'm just disappointed. Well, that's on you. All right, got to go. I mean, did we get through your week yet? I know you found your book.
My week was really just the last 2 days of not having my morning pages notebook. And that's also a way I keep myself accountable because I plan out my day in there. And a lot of the times when I'm writing down, in my checklist, I'm writing down lunch and I'm writing down dinner, I have a good idea of what I'm going to get or what we're going to do for that. And it does help out a lot.
Yeah, I work up with a plan. And then after the plan gets thrown out the window, then I try to have damage control. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And I feel like that's an unhealthy way to diet, is constantly trying to correct your mistakes all the time.
I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, when are you going back to the doctor? Are you talking to the nutritionist again?
Yeah, I go back in a month. Well, the 9th of, just did April, so the 9th of May. I go back the 9th of May.
Okay.
So we're going to be all right. I'll be all right when I get there.
And what are they going to say in this appointment? Do you know?
Well, they're going to go back over my weight, and then I keep saying I'm going to call them to make sure I got all my other appointments ready to go because I want to get all that out of the way. So whenever I hit the weight, they're like, "Okay, get them on the table, cut them open." I'm not looking forward to this because I hear stories.
No, you should look for the success stories.
Right.
Don't look for the bad stories. Look for the success stories. And you know what else? I think people are less likely to share success stories than they are the horror stories. Because have you ever bought something on Amazon and you look at the reviews and all it is are 1 or 2 stars, but then you actually read them, and not to say this is the same with
weight
loss surgery, but you read them and you realize, these reviews are actually a lot of user errors or problems with shipping or something like that. And then you personally buy the product and it's perfectly fine. And that's a terrible analogy to give to weight loss surgery. So any weight loss surgery,
I get
people
it.
who've gone through it, I'm sorry for that analogy. I realized as I was saying it, like, oh no, I can't stop this catastrophe train of thought. I'm sorry. I need my notebook. This is why I need my notebook to get out all these stupid ideas before I say them out loud.
You're fine.
Oh.
All right. What do you say we do some Winning Wednesdays?
Yeah, let's do that.
Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
All right. Ingrid said, I hit over 42,000 steps in a week. This is a personal best for me. That is amazing.
Yeah. 42,000 steps in a week. Wow. That's
Do you ever
huge.
sit down?
Yeah, I know.
Are you ever not walking? Wow.
That's so cool. Julia says, I've been working out so much, I do not have to take blood pressure medicine anymore. Woohoo! Doo-doo!
Yeah, that is a dude. Alyssa Ann says, started Weight Watchers today.
Yay! Okay, Deborah hit this today. Negative 55 pounds. Yay! And she put up a little graphic from her Fitbit app.
Michelle says, I motivated another person to get healthy. Her surgery is tomorrow. She is a complete stranger, and now I'm helping her. That is a win-win. Heart, and it keeps me even more focused.
I love that you went the heart emoji.
Heart emoji?
Heart emoji.
We have to get Michelle in here.
We do.
We have to get here. Michelle, I'm so sorry. We have to figure out a time to get you in here. I got to call you. We got to get a date. We got to get you in here for an episode.
Let us know next time you have a Thursday morning off and you can come in 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern. And
if you have a laptop, we can bring you in and put you right in here on the laptop too.
that's true because she lives near you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So Julianne doing 15-minute nonstop on stationary bike. New knee is working. Wow.
Shane says, lost 6 pounds in 24 hours. Yeah. Sadly, it was a stomach flu, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Not sure if I can turn that diet into the best-selling book or plan, though. I think that's bulimia. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Podcasts are my comfort this week, I can tell you.
I put up, this was years ago, I had the stomach flu, and I actually put on Craigslist. It's like, I will send you a vial of my spit with this stomach flu if you want to lose weight really fast. I was like in my 20s and I put this on Craigslist because people were putting such stupid things up there.
You are a biological terrorist.
I know. That was not good. Emily, oh, these are things you keep to yourself. Okay. Deborah said, I'm on my second week of IF and doing great. Lost 1.5 pounds last week and the week before. Yay.
Victoria said, I quite forgotten I had ribs.
Ooh. Brendan had to buy a smaller belt. Yay!
Elaine said, I have not stolen candy, parentheses yet, from the kids' Easter basket that are hiding in my closet. I forgot about the candy thing. Ugh, I don't want to get into that.
Good that you forgot about it and good that you don't go shopping. You don't go to the store to go shopping to buy that stuff because
No.
I got hooked into Cadbury mini eggs. And I was like, I don't even like these, so I'll bring them home and the kids will... No, I loved them. They were great. I don't know why I thought I didn't like them. I was wrong. Shane said, down another 2 pounds, and I've been going to the gym or running every day this week.
Elizabeth said, happily maintaining. I had to read maintaining in my mind twice. But yes, maintaining.
Oh, good.
Happily.
That's hard.
Mhm.
Maintaining's really hard. I don't
Sure.
know what's harder, is maintaining or dieting, honestly. Both are hard. Anna said, oh, you didn't do a doot-doot.
I thought I did.
Just throw another one in.
Okay.
Anna said, I tried boxer size and loved it. Also, not cheated on my diet. # winning.
What is boxer size? Like with boxing gloves and
I'm guessing that, yeah.
like doing the Rocky
That sound-
theme? Dun,
That sounds like fun.
dun, dun, dun.
Remember when Tybo was big for...
A minute.
Yeah, a quick minute. Everybody bought the videos. We all thought we could defend ourselves by dancing and punching people. But
Well, yeah, it's a guy jumps out of alley with a knife, and all of a sudden you wait a minute and you take your phone and you put on the music. Yeah. Now let's go.
All right, let's go. And I can only do uppercuts right now. Punching straight ahead is after I do these uppercuts.
That's right.
So.
All right. They are our winning Wednesdays.
Yeah, those are great. Congratulations, everyone.
Guys are doing a good job.
Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
Okay, so I jumped on the scale this morning, and I am down 4 pounds.
Yay! Toot toot!
Okay. I think.
Why are you beating yourself up? You're like,
No.
okay.
No, what I was thinking is that from last week where I went up, but I think the getting out on Saturday, the walking was helping, the not being able to just being more thoughtful in what I was eating and not just saying, okay, well, I'm hungry and I'm just going to go off and do whatever. Even if I went to Taco Bell twice this week, I didn't do major damage like I normally would.
No, and you lost 4 pounds.
Right.
That's
so
great.
Lost 4 pounds this week. So yeah, there we go. In a positive direction, onward and upward.
I'm looking at your last weigh-ins, and you would have been so happy all these other weeks if you were down 4 pounds. You're kind of nonchalant about it.
No,
I feel like you would be.
Well, honestly, I think a lot of it was because of what. It doesn't matter. I'm happy about it, but I'm also not trying to be overly happy about the wins. Mm-hmm. So I'm not overly upset about the losses.
Oh,
okay.
I think you could separate those two.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I got when I got on there this morning, I was like, yes. But it was whether I lost that coming down here and talking about everything. I got to go back to the thing is it doesn't really matter. The number on a scale isn't really. I know this is how we measure our success, but really it isn't really. I had a good week this week. I didn't binge. I was eating mindfully. I got out and moved around. I stepped out of my comfort zone. There was times where I wanted to eat and I said, no, I'm not going to eat. So, I mean, I wrestled with everything. So I'm more happy about what I did this week more than the number on a scale. The number on a scale said, okay, yeah, you're working in the right direction. But if it was a pound, I would have still felt as good the week. Okay, so let's put it this way. If I did the same thing all week and I only lost a pound, does that mean that I didn't have a good week? Does it mean I had a better week because I lost 4 pounds? No, I had a great week and I lost 4 pounds. If I would have had the same week and lost a pound, I still would have had a great week. So that's why I'm not trying to get as focused on the number because it really isn't a measure of my success. Yeah, I lost 4 pounds, but I really had a good week with battling everything that I battle.
I love that perspective. I'm glad you're looking at it like I had a good week and I lost weight, not I had a good week because I lost weight.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's really healthy, and especially going into surgery. And that's sort of the reason why you kind of have to be looking at those scale numbers and taking them a little bit more seriously just because they're telling you need to lose 30 pounds before the weight loss. Because this is something like you're working toward a goal. But I love your perspective on it that I lost 4 pounds and I had a great week and I'm working through my issues, and that's going to probably help you. Michelle can speak to this better than I can, but that'll probably help you a lot during surgery and after.
Yeah. And then the other thing is for next week, because I didn't realize what a train wreck my life was. I really do have to schedule time to go exercise. So next week, I've already have on my count. I've blocked out 2 hours, on days where I can go for a walk, even if it's a short walk, even if it's, something where, I can just go work up a sweat, work up a lather, and then come right back. It shouldn't take 2 hours, but I'm scheduling 2 hours just in case it does. And just to give myself that margin to do that next week. So I feel like I'm progressing.
How are you with tracking exercise? I mean, would you do something like tracking how long you're walking or how many steps you're walking just to...
I have an app on my phone that does the steps.
Just to challenge yourself, because I don't know if that's a motivation, because my husband was talking about when he used to play hockey and how he didn't realize how much he was challenging himself and how that was part of the fun of playing hockey until I was talking to him about yoga. And I was like, look what I can do now. And he's like, that's how I used to feel about hockey. It was measurable success. Also, yes, Stephanie says, stop saying your life is a train wreck. Stop it.
Well,
right.
I shouldn't say train wreck. What it is, it's like a train with no brakes. In other words, it goes where it wants. It just goes and goes and goes and goes. And I really don't control it. It's more controlling me. And I have to wrestle the control back off of, I have to get control of my life. Right now, I'm just a passenger.
Right now, you're reactive.
Very
of
reactive.
proactive.
Exactly. That's exactly what. Thank you for putting words in my mouth that I needed.
I realized that was where you were going.
Thank you. Because it's like my brain's got no cards. It's going, nope, 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 not that one.
Oh, yeah. So I said it was Shark Week. I'm up a pound.
That's, again, no big deal. This happens every time.
Every month I'm up a pound or two.
You know what? I'm giving you, because usually you're up too.
Yeah.
Usually during Shark Week, you're up too. So yeah, I'm giving you that.
That's true. Well, this is the tail end. It was very weird to get very personal. So if anyone's starting intermittent fasting and you're a female, and if your cycles are pretty normal, for some reason, when I started intermittent fasting, they got really messed up and then they normalized. And then this month was the month of like, how am I 8 days late? And my husband's like, should you be peeing on a stick at this point? I'm like, no, it's coming. I know. It's not fair that I had 2 weeks of PMS though. That wasn't cool but for him either.
Yeah,
but,
no one benefits from that.
No, but I think IF still will play with those hormones right there. And it's fine. It doesn't make the actual period any worse, but it's just annoying when things aren't on schedule. Not to mention I didn't have my notebook, so I was just,
the notebook.
No idea what's going on.
Right. Jennifer says, wouldn't it be great if the scale was just a plus and a minus, not a number? So
That's an interesting thought. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun.
Yes, it would be.
Huh. That's really interesting.
Now, of course, when you got on, you would step on, so there would be a plus or minus. So then there had to be a color associated with it.
That's for me or no?
Well, no, anybody. So like if you got on and it was plus, it would be red, and if it was minus, it would be green.
Yeah. I mean, as long as it's not a happy face or a sad face. I don't know. Maybe it could be like pregnancy tests where it's just like 2 stripes, says nothing. You have to actually go to the manual to see what that means.
Okay, it works.
Like this is just the test weight that we're testing for. Mm-hmm. And then if this other line turns pink, well, then you gained weight. Something like that.
Right. And again, it's not even that big of a deal, especially with women, because women's bodies with the hormones and the monthly cycle and all that, you can't even go by that, to be quite honest with you. Men are a little bit different. Men can it doesn't really affect us on a monthly in any kind of way. So we can, but women not so much. So especially women, I wouldn't beat themselves up over it.
No, I used to. And that's what I'm so glad that I've been able to get away from is tracking my weight actually helped me deal with the fact that I gain weight during my period. It helped me kind of come to terms with this happens every month. You forget about it because you're not tracking it. You just get mad at yourself and then you overeat and then you get back on the scale or you avoid the scale for months and months and months at a time. And that was my yo-yo dieting. And the fact that we've been tracking our weight, and I know there are different studies that say you shouldn't track your weight or you shouldn't look at your weight or you should only weigh this many times. But the fact that I've been looking at this and actually able to get a pattern from it and knowing, okay, it's Shark Week. I either go up 1 or 2 pounds this week. This happens every month. And I remember earlier episodes in the very beginning, I'd get mad at myself for that. And now I know, no, that's just normal. It goes away. Just like Shark Week, it goes away.
Right. All right, everyone. That's it for this week. And if you want to join us, we've had new people come in. They found the podcast and they like it. And they said, hey, you know what? We want to be part of this. Go to hate2wait.com/Facebook and you can jump on in with us. We record every Thursday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. We'd love to have you. Right now, we have a ton of people in the chat. We have 7 people watching as we speak right now. And normally those numbers go up and down because people pop in and pop out because, we do this.
And we don't look at it like the scale. We're not like, oh.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fun in the chat. The chat starts talking to each other. They have their own little show going on over there.
I love that. That's my favorite. And I love the fact that people have conversations. I don't even get all the notifications for the group anymore. I have my Facebook set up to do that, but they're talking so much and posting so many awesome dieting memes and encouragement. I can't say enough about the group. It's great.
All right, everyone. So come on back next week and we'll do this all over again. Bye.
Bye.